Welcome to the Imagination Upgraded podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Champ Robinson, and today I have a beautiful, very special guest, and that guest is Tammy Townsend. How you doing?
Fine. How are you? I didn't know your name was Brad.
Brandon.
I always just refer you to
Brad.
Champ.
I know most people just refer to me as Champ, but
Yeah.
I go by the three names and not just Champ Robinson, because sadly, now everybody's gonna do this, but if you Google Champ Robinson, I'm not the first person to come up, and the first person that does come up just so happens to be a gay porn star.
Oh. Okay, there you go.
So when I tell.
Now you know I'm gonna look it up, right?
I know,
I gotta
everybody's gonna look it up now. So don't do it at work.
Right,
so
yeah.
when I tell people my name, and then I'm like, hey, but don't Google me like that. Like, make sure you do
Right.
Brandon Champ Robinson, and then ultimately they do Google Champ
Of course,
Robinson,
right, exactly.
and
Like, oh,
they
okay.
get a rude awakening
Right.
at that point,
Or
they get a
a
happy.
nice surprise.
They get a nice
It
surprise.
depends.
Just depending on how you feel, you might get a nice surprise. But
Well, my name is less interesting than yours. I have my Instagram is Tammy Townsend 10, and that's because there are 9 other Tammy Townsends before me.
I was
Tammy
wondering why
Townsend
you
is
had
a
to-
very, very common name.
I had no idea. I thought when I first met you, I thought you were related to Robert Townsend.
I used to tell people that so I could get jobs.
That's the best way to do it.
It really is.
I'm like, is that her dad?
And then actually Robert gave me a gig because I said, you know, I'm your cousin, right? He was like, no, you're not, but that's cute.
But I'm taking it.
Right, exactly.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
That's what's up. No, the whole time when I first met you, and to explain how I met Tammy,
Yes.
we did a movie called The Workout Room that I was hired to direct, and Tammy was brought on to that movie, and
Yes.
she was awesome in it. You should go check it out. It is now released on Amazon and Vudu, I think it is.
I don't know.
I think it's
should
Vudu.
know.
Amazon and Vudu. I know Amazon. That's like the one that I always tell people. So go look
Yeah.
at it on Amazon Prime. But she was on that movie, and she was amazing, and that's how we met. And when they told me that it was Tammy Townsend, I was like, oh, it's Robert Townsend's daughter. I had no idea. I just wanted to feel like I knew what I was talking
You're
about.
right.
But no,
You didn't know what you was talking about.
I had no idea. But we became really good friends, and
Yes.
she has been awesome. So what's up with you? What do you have going on?
Well, right now I'm working on 2 things. There's a show called The Wilds,
Okay.
also on Amazon, and that shoots in New Zealand. So I was able to go over there and shoot for a little bit, and this was my first time over in New Zealand. It was amazing. And I'm also working on a show called Stuck With You on UMC.
Nice.
So, and that comes out next year in February.
So you actually stay really busy. Like, I didn't know this at first. I didn't know how busy you were, but I knew you were like always doing something. And I remember like the one time that I can remember that I knew we were gonna be like cool was when after the movie I saw you at a gas station, and he was like, "Hey Jim, how you doing?"
Why
And
my
I was
voice
like,
gotta be like that? though, Chip?
I'm sorry. That every time I talk to you, like you, it goes
It's like this.
that. I'm sorry. He was like, "Hey, Chef, how you doing?" I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" She's like, "What you doing?" I told you what I was working on. I was working on my pilot at the time, and she was like, "Well, why you didn't call me?" And I'm like, "Well, like you're a real actress. Like
Oh
you,
my
like
God.
not saying no one else that's in there is it, but I was like, I didn't really think that you would even come out." And she was like, "Shut the fuck up, Chip. Call me."
No,
And
that sounds like me.
At that moment, I knew that we were gonna be good friends.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, you stay very busy, and one thing that I want to talk to you about is I always like to talk to people about things that I don't really know much about, and hopefully you do, and maybe the listeners need to know about it. But talk to me about pilot season. I've been trying to understand pilot season, but I don't have anyone to talk to about it.
Okay.
So now I have you here, and you've been in the pilot season game. You've been through it, and
Yeah.
ups and downs and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So first, explain what it is.
Okay, so pilot season, it is different now because it used to just be the top of the year, like January to like March. But now with all the different networks and stuff, it is pretty much year round.
Okay.
It just gets a little heavier. It's the heaviest and most popular, most known towards the top of the year. And you have people from all over the states coming to Los Angeles in particular. and it's basically all the new shows or that people want to get sold to different networks and stuff. And so they have a bunch of new shows, and only within all the shows that are being produced, only a certain few actually get sold and put on the air. So from the actor's perspective, we audition for a particular pilot, and it's mainly 3 or 4 sessions that you go through before you get to the actual test.
Okay.
So it's like 3 auditions. The first is with a casting person, and the second is with like the writers and director, producers. The third one would be like what they call a studio kind of a work one. So they pair you up with different people that are going to be in the main scenes that you're going to be in the pilot. So just to kind of get a chemistry read. If you do that, it's kind of a work session is what they call it. Then you go to a studio session, and that's to all the studio heads and everybody. And then you go to the network, which is casting, writers, producer, director, network, and studio. So it's like it can be up to 20 people in the room while you audition.
This sounds very strenuous.
Yeah, no, it's not strenuous at all.
No. I mean, I see people get like really stressed out around pilot season, but they're also like excited that it is.
Right.
Season at the
Right.
same
I mean,
time.
it's an opportunity that you can, get on this television series, which a lot of actors would like to do. It's like steady work. But yeah, once you get down to that very last one, the network's test, you're signing contracts and, going through all that kind of thing. So when you get it, then you shoot the pilot. And of course, hopefully you're hoping that it gets sold.
Picked up.
Yeah.
So these are shows that have not been sold yet. Or
No.
have not been picked up.
No.
So
Sometimes they have those. They call them straight to network, and that it's already sold, and they're just looking to cast
fill
it.
in.
Yeah, but here's the other thing too that people. This is all from the actor's perspective.
Okay.
So you can do all of that. You get the pilot, you shoot the pilot gets sold, and then they go, yeah, but we don't like her as that particular role, so we're gonna replace her.
And they'll recast.
Oh heck yeah, that happens. That hasn't happened to me.
I was gonna say
ever. Thank you, Jesus. I need to knock on all the woods and heads. It hasn't, but I've had a few friends that's happened to, and it is devastating.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I originally thought that during pilot season they had already had shows that they wanted to fill up, and I thought it was just like, so it's not. It's like people are still bringing and pitching.
Yep.
And then is it basically like development? Is
They
it like
have
pilot season development?
They have ones that they call like pilot presentations.
Okay.
So they're not like a full like pilot, like if it's an hour or half an hour, it might be like 20 minutes or something, and then they kind of to give the network a feel of what it could be, and then they can develop it. But most of the time when it's a new show and a network is really excited about it, it gets sold, and you got a lot of folks with their hands in making sure that everyone is happy.
Right.
And that's a whole nother thing for people who produce it, or writers and stuff, the creators of it, to make sure their vision stays on track, because it can get kind of muddy sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's not like,
sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. So, okay, for example, let's say I have my current pilot that I have. And let's just say
The one that I wasn't in. Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
Why would you say
Yeah,
that? We discussed this at the beginning. I
Yeah,
wanted to
right.
get it all out on the floor,
Okay, well,
so you had nothing to hold against me.
Well, no, I'm still a little
still
bitter.
gonna hold
Go
it.
ahead. I'm here now. I'm present.
Can I? If I write one, are you gonna star in it?
You sure? Of course.
Next question: do I have to pay you? Put it right on the spot.
We'll discuss.
We will discuss.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So, okay, I have my pilot, and you know you're on the actor's side, but you may have some insight. So I take this, and does that then go to a production company somewhere, and then they pitch it to a network, or am I finding ways to get to the network myself, or is it agent? Like, what is it?
Wow. There are several ways to go about this. have you? So you haven't this pilot? You already shot it, right?
Yeah. So this one is
Okay.
a pilot that's already done and ready to be shot, pitched. Whatever.
Okay, right. Okay, so usually you would, if you have a kind of liaison or agent or someone that you can network with to take your stuff directly to someone at a network would be the best thing. Because the more hands that are involved, the more pieces of your check that you
got to break off.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
More
So
percentages gotta
exactly
come
more
out.
percentages. So if you can, I mean, you for most people they don't have the resources that you have because I mean you do everything. You like the Renaissance dude, you know. So you've done more than half the battle. So
Yeah.
if you can find like a person that can walk your stuff into a particular network that you think would be great, that's the way to do it.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that'll lead me to another question. So, you said like an agent or something. Like finding an agent. Like, how did you go about getting your first agent, or was your first agent a good agent? Like bad? Well, you don't have to like out them like that, but like.
They're probably not even alive anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
Okay.
were older than, but I won't mention.
Yeah, no, you know,
right.
but yeah. So I mean, just kind of like walk us through that process of like getting an agent, and then what is that agent then in turn doing for you?
So mine was kind of odd because I was a dancer first before acting, and so there happened to we were doing like a recital in the mall or something like that, and there was an agent that happened to be in the mall, a kids agent, and she liked what she saw, and she invited a couple of us out to if we were interested in acting to come and try our hand out. So we literally went to her office and she interviewed us. She liked me and she signed me, and I was starting to go out on like commercials and also theatrical gigs. So that's kind of how it happened for me.
So, really quick, just because I want to talk about that. A lot of times I see that now they're like super scams.
Yes.
But it sounds like yours was not a super
It wasn't.
scam.
Anytime they're asking you for money, no, that's not how it goes.
That's the red flag.
That's the red flag.
Okay.
They only should be getting 10% of your check.
Take notes.
10%, and that's it. And you also want to check with SAG-AFTRA because they have a list of agencies that are legit, basically. So that's what you want to exactly.
Okay.
So
all right, cool. Okay, continue.
I mean, but that's how it kind of happened for me. It was kind of easy. For most people, getting an agent again, it's like a referral to, or sometimes you. Agents, small boutique agencies may be looking for clients, and they might ask for a picture and resume and stuff like that, which everything is done. Back in the day, it was you send in an actual headshot and a hard copy resume.
Right.
Hard copy means actual paper. Some of you millennials probably don't know what that is back in the day.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, so we're talking about resume. Do you think like your Instagram is a resume?
Yes, the Instagram is a resume now, and they definitely look at how many people are following you, yada yada yada. That thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like this. Like a lot
but
of
they
you
still
don't
do
know.
ask for resumes.
They still ask for like
they
just
do.
the paper. Okay.
Yeah, not the paper. They like send me digital.
Well,
right?
not paper,
Yes.
but yeah.
You gotta clarify.
Yeah, my bad. So I mean, this is good. Like a lot of people, you may not know that I like prepare lightly for these things. And I just like to have conversations with the people and let it build organically. So with you saying that, I know you have a pretty decent sized following. Do you think, like, have you ever been in a situation where it was between you and maybe another actress and the Instagram following helped? Or, you know what I mean? Or would you even know that you
I
were in
don't
that
know. I wouldn't
situation?
know unless somebody told me. And most of the time, they're not going to tell you something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's because you. But, I am noticing, and no shade and no whatever. I've noticed a lot of influencers and Instagram models and whatever, being immersed into, acting world. And that's just how it is now.
That's how it is now.
Yeah. So
So okay, I'll take that.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's out here hustling and trying to, make a living for themselves. So I'm not mad at it, but it does for me. It makes me I have to think outside the box and try to keep myself because I'm a very likable person. I mean, I don't know if I'm likable. I think most people like me, but I'm open.
True. You are.
Oh, thanks, champ.
I
mean, I like to I like people. But certain things of my life I like to keep private.
Mm-hmm.
So Instagram has been a little bit of a challenge for me, what to share and what not. Yeah. And some people just put it all out there, and I'm like, how much of myself do I share?
I think you have a good balance.
You think so?
I think so. Like I look at some of the stuff you post, and then you post you like just having a lot of fun, like riding ATVs and doing that kind of stuff, like showing your tomboy side, as you say. So I think you do really well with that. Now, with that though, I know you say you have a struggle with it. Do you interact with your followers a lot?
I do. I will get on and usually when I don't have you have that notification to tell you when somebody's like said something or comment or whatever. I've turned that off because it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Well, I would guess you have a lot of followers.
But I mean, I don't have a lot. Like I'm complaining about the notification. I know some people have way more followers than me, and they're like, I have a girlfriend who is constantly on it, but I can't do that. I become a slave to it. So I that's not my calling. So I get on, I post, and I might wait like 5 minutes or something like that to see, and then I'll respond back to those few comments that come in, and then I'm out. I gotta jump off.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at it. I need to get better.
No, it's good. What's your frequency? Like, what's your posting frequency? Once every 2 months.
I have made it a point to post at least once a week.
Okay, that's good.
But most people post 3 to 4 times a week.
A day.
You know what? So like, no, you're right.
Like,
I feel like nobody's life is that, to me, interesting.
It's true.
And also, I'm not a braggart. So, and I feel like Instagram is like, this is me, and maybe it's because I'm old school, whatever, but I just feel like, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing now. I'm on set life, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? It can get to be too much sometimes.
It can
get to be too
much.
But
that's the way of the world now. So I try to balance it off with like some humility if I can, and like, okay, this is the way the world is now, so just at least tell people what you're doing, and so at least once a week.
All right. Well, I respect it. Like you seem like active enough for your followers on there, which is cool. And I'm just gonna give a shout out to EJ.
Yeah, because EJ's crawling on the floor.
EJ's crawling on the floor, like across the cameras, everything.
I was trying to ignore her, but then
it's
like,
so funny.
It is right. You did it a few times. You like,
what did you do?
Right, exactly.
Most of the time I do this with just one camera, but today I'm doing it with 3 and we still figuring it out. So we right back in the game. All right. So we started this podcast and I didn't really run down like all the things that you've done. So one of the biggest thing that I know that you've done is playing Zendaya's mom on
Casey Undercover.
Casey Undercover. That's what it was. So tell me, like, from the beginning of that, how you got that, and how long it ran, and how was it doing Casey Undercover?
Okay, so I auditioned for it.
Did you do it during pilot season?
Yeah, I did. Okay,
hey, look at that. Made it through.
Right, yeah. So I auditioned for it. They liked me. They brought me back to kind of this one kind of fast. This one was kind of went fast. They brought me in front of the producers. They liked me. Then they asked me to come on a weekend so they can kind of tweak what I was doing. Because when actors go on, they have like these sides, which are like a portion of the larger scripts that they audition with. So then, I feel like you're looking at a curl. Is that out of?
I was looking at a curl.
I know you were. Well, where is it?
How did you know I was looking at a curl?
Because you're doing like this, and I'm like, I'm down here. Where are you?
Because okay, I looked at the curl. Yeah. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with the curl.
What's going on with it?
It was just like one little strand.
Oh, okay. Well, like, do I need to move it?
But no one else can see it but me because I'm right here.
Okay, but you are distracting me by looking at the. Did I get it?
You got
it's
it.
probably gonna come back out.
You got it. You know, we just said we got to take care of each other, so I was making sure that it wasn't anything that was gonna show up
on
really
the
bad
okay,
on
great.
camera. So I got you. It's good. I will not look at your
Please
curls
don't do
anymore.
that.
They're nice curls.
Because it's gonna fly out again. See, it's out already.
Yeah,
I can tell.
Look at me. All right, I'm look at you in your eyes the whole time. It's gonna
No,
be
that's
super
weird.
awkward.
Go back
Super
to looking
awkward.
at the curl. That's really weird. That's creepy.
At least I'm not like nose breathing.
Right. All right. Anyway,
all right,
they brought me on a Saturday to work with me to tweak what I was doing, and then I went in with producers and some of the network, and Zendaya was there, and they did. This was actually the test too, so I didn't have like a million people in there, and so Zendaya was there, and Kadeem and Camille, and actually they had us, and Robin Givens was there.
Oh,
she came right down to the wall, and so we all kind of switched. They would switch us with different people, and I ended up getting it.
nice.
So
And how long did that show run?
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Yeah, so we Disney has longer seasons than I think most shows because of the kids.
Yeah.
They have to go to school and
So it stretches out.
yes, and also too smaller kids start to grow up and develop, and they they so they're trying to catch them when they're still like young
Right.
and stuff.
So they shoot just like a bunch of them,
and
then like break those seasons up.
Yeah,
Or-
they were kind of doing that a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah.
How many episodes are in a normal like Disney season?
I think we did like I didn't do all the episodes. I think they guaranteed me like 10, so I may have been like 13, but it was like 22 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 22,
Each
23.
season?
Yes, we
That's
may have
good.
gone over 1 or 2. I didn't keep count only because when I wasn't in them, I was just kind of clocked out and was traveling
Doing
somewhere.
other
So
stuff. I get it. Yeah.
You're right,
Getting
exactly.
that Disney bag.
Right.
It's different. But,
No comment on that one.
It's all good. It's all
Right.
good. Let us think what we
Okay,
think
go
about
ahead.
Disney. Okay, because I know a lot of people we don't know. So let us think what we think.
Okay. All I gotta say is I'm still out here auditioning and
right,
getting
yeah.
like okay.
Which
if it was
brings
like
me to my next thing.
Right.
So I feel like you're one of those people that like really kind of like goes from like mainstream and still gets your indie bag off.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how is it going back and forth between those two things?
I like to do like independent things only because I feel like these are the next generation of folks who are up and coming. And I like to invest, especially when I feel like it's a good project. And most importantly to me, that this is crazy, but I love good people. So when I find folks that I love to work with, they're easy and I can kind of explore and kind of create things outside of the box and they're okay with it. This is gold to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to do it. And I'll continue to do it no matter, how far I get.
You know, always come back to the indie.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And it's funny because when Casey Undercover, the final season was like in 2017, the bulk of my money was from friends that I had done indies with.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Did favors for. They call me back and they're like, hey, I got this project, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah.
So when that was done, not during when Casey Undercover was done, then the bulk of your money came from just like referrals and indies
Absolutely.
and stuff like that.
That's the bulk of it,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, unfortunately, and, I did stuff during when Casey Undercover, when I had like, it was off season or whatever, I would do stuff. But I don't know. It's just funny. You have to kind of invest in people because as you get older, because I'm now an older actress, the work isn't as plentiful as it was when I was, in my 20s or even my 30s. And so, all of this is paying off me like investing in other people because, they remember that stuff and I'm still able to work, even though I'm older and this stuff is not, traditional in the traditional way that it would come through auditions. I'm still able to, pay my bills because of, folks that I've, sent some love to.
That's crazy to me when you say when I was in my 20s or in my 30s, because you still look so young.
Well, thank you, Chip.
Like, you really do. Like, okay. Got a lot of youth in there.
Unfortunately, when you go to my IMDb page, bastards, put your damn birth date on there. And I'm like,
you got disputed.
No, I mean, I've tried to take it off. They put it right back on. And then there was an actress that actually, sued and she lost.
Really?
So yes, exactly. Exactly.
They're not saying anything bad.
Right. So I have embraced it and I'm like, okay, so what does this mean for me now?
So do you look to you think more just about that next level of acting? Like, all right, so now I'm in this age range, so now I can, your brand, do you kind of change your brand up towards that?
Yeah, I'm trying to, again, one of the nice things about doing Casey Undercover, because I actually didn't want to do it, because I was like, I don't want to do a Disney show. I want to work with Shonda Rhimes. You know what I mean? But when I just kind of went with it, there's a younger audience that I never would have had if I hadn't done that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
my little goddaughters love you. And thank you for sending them that
of course, I'm always on
FaceTime message too. They loved it.
Yeah, no,
they were so excited
all the time. But yeah, that turned out to be something that I think is gonna help to serve me later on. So it was a good thing.
Yeah. So with that, what you said, he was like, oh, I don't want to do Disney. I want to do Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
So does Disney kind of, and you don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, but is it kind of a contractual thing where you have to protect the brand of Disney? So they wouldn't want you to do anything that's too.
Yes.
That's a real thing.
I mean, not so much the parents that was on Casey Undercover, but definitely the kids.
Definitely the kids.
Yeah. They're very and rightly so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have a lot of underage kids. It's a kids network.
Yeah,
so and the parents want to be able to, sit their kids in front of the TV while they go off and cook or whatever, or go to work or whatever. I mean, they shouldn't. That's a latch. What's that? Latchkey.
Yeah, I was
I mean, not that. That's what I mean.
I was one of those.
Right?
It happens. It happens.
Right. But they want to know that they're protected and the kids on the show aren't doing anything salacious or crazy or whatever.
Absolutely.
But they did do a background check on me, as they should.
Yeah. Checking all the boxes.
Exactly, checking and ticking. But I was never any work that I did, they never questioned me about it or anything like that. They were pretty loose with me. The other thing that one of the reasons why I was kind of apprehensive about doing Casey Undercover is because I wasn't sure when I would watch a lot of the shows. I feel like you're watching my curl again, Champ.
I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna move on then.
I'm looking directly at your eyelash because I can't look at your eyes.
So distracted. I'm trying to. Lord, you know my flow of thought. I've been scrolling out over here.
I guess I gotta work on my eye placement.
You do.
Really all over the place.
I'm like, okay, but the parents weren't on the shows that I'd seen. They weren't really you would see them say one line and then walk out, or they'd be they weren't really that actually integral part of the show. But that wasn't the case.
No, you were in it.
Yeah, we were definitely a part of it, which was
stunts. I think I seen you jump into.
I wanted them to do man. When I tell you I wanted to do the stunts, they'd be like, no, I can do it. You don't understand.
That means you just gotta produce your own stuff.
That's
so you
true.
Do your own stunts.
That's true.
Which is good. Another segue is we actually did something.
We did.
I can't wait for everybody to see it. It's pretty dope.
It is.
So talk about was that your directorial debut?
It wasn't a directorial. Careful. It wasn't my directorial.
Get it together.
I'm gonna need you to edit this.
You don't want to debut something else on this podcast. This ain't that good.
Directorial. cheering, Robinson.
Oh my God.
Probably really was you.
No.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't, because I actually directed something in high school.
Okay.
Something that I wrote. And
Okay.
anyway, but I'm gonna say yes, kind of officially. That was
Yeah.
kind of unofficially. That was a soft,
Yeah.
like, introduction in high school. This was like definitely.
Well, tell us about it a little bit.
Okay, well, my writing partner and I, Stephanie Beatty, wrote a short called The Counselor. And, we definitely had like a certain direction to it. I wanted a certain feel to it. And, I was trying to think of somebody that might be able to capture that, because it's two women writing for two black men, the characters. And so we wanted somebody who could kind of capture it artistically. And I was thinking, I don't know, a jam, but that's literally how it came about. I was like, oh yeah, we could do a jam. We could do it. So that's kind of how it came into play. So
Nice.
Actually, I'm lying, because I think you approached me about something.
I did, but it probably happened at the same
It would have,
time.
because I feel like
Probably like you were thinking about it, and then I called you like, "Hey, I
that
had
is
this
exactly
idea to do this,"
yes.
and then it like
That's exactly.
LinkedIn.
It was kismet.
Yeah, it was kismet.
It was. That's
I've never
exactly.
said that word in my life.
Well, see, you're getting a lot
I
of
do
words.
know what it means though, but it never said it in my life.
Okay, well,
Never used it. I'm getting a lot of words. Stop
You
it.
really-
Stop it.
okay, yeah.
right.
So that's what happened.
Yeah, no, and hopefully you guys be able to see that. So I'm sure you'll be able to see it. So
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. We're working on some things with it now, and it's really good. They
And
did an amazing job.
Thank you.
You
And
guys
we
did
have
a
some
great
other
job.
stuff coming down.
We do have some
pipe.
other things coming down that she got on me about today.
Yes, a
Listen.
period piece
It is
that
a
I know
period.
he can handle.
Yeah, she went crazy on me when she came in. Like,
Yes, I did. Exactly. None of the stuff that he said he was going to do, but we moved on from that.
we've moved on.
Yes.
So let's go back to. I want to go back to just like the indie world a bit.
Okay.
And again, if any of this is like something you don't want to talk about, it's cool. But I did a podcast recently just about creators and being paid and things like that, right? So on your level, at the level you're working, because like I do stuff, and I was having an issue where they would have like net 30, 45, 60, blah blah blah. How are you as a so first of all, are you as a working actress, are they paying you directly, or are they paying your agent, then your agent's paying you, or how does this work?
Right. I hope my agent never sees this. Typically when it's now see, this all depends too, because if it's a friend, a close friend, I've worked for free.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah. And this could be general too, like you don't have to say exactly you.
Right. In general.
Yeah, see? It cleans it up.
Yeah. People have been known to work for free. Okay, they know it's me. We can kind of trade. I'll do this for you. You do this for me.
Barter
I got you on a
system.
a barter system. I couldn't think of the word.
That's all good.
Yeah. Or sometimes I've been paid under the table before, but it's sometimes some of this stuff will never see the light of day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and then the bigger things that I know that they may be able to get wind of, I'll include them in it. So, and they'll negotiate the contract or whatever. But some of the stuff it's like, I know that it's a a shot in the dark, whether it'll ever be seen anyway. So yeah, exactly. And it just depends. I don't typically work for free. I do not do that. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
It depends on the piece. You know what I mean? It's all these different things. But you'd be surprised. There are a lot of actors that will dip and dab on that side. Because another thing too is sometimes the material that comes through us the traditional way, it's okay, but it's not something we can really sink our teeth in. And if you're a true lover of somebody of the craft, and you get something that's undeniably like right up your aisle and that's gonna feed you as an artist, you'll do it.
Yeah,
you will do it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. One thing I like to say is like, know your currency. So it might not always be money. It might be, okay, yeah, champ, I'll come and act in this for you, but I need you to shoot this piece
Right,
for me.
exactly.
You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
that's cool. Like, that's
exactly.
a mutual agreement on
Right.
my part.
And sometimes I don't ask that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like, this is what's moved me. And I mean, I'm a very spiritual person. And sometimes, you know, God is like, okay, for this one, I'm going to need you to go on and do a solid for this person, you know, and I got you on the end somewhere else. You know?
Got you.
Yeah.
So, okay. So with that, are you typically being paid up front, or are you typically like half when we start, half when we finish, or is it a longer show and then you're like, all right, pay me every week, or how does that typically
With the
go
indie?
for?
You talking about indie?
Yeah, with indie. Well,
Because
yeah,
you know
I live
with the regular,
mostly, I live mostly in the indie world. So
okay, so if we agree on payment, I usually get half up front because I've been burned a few times, unfortunately, and especially if I don't know you, then you're gonna have to give me half up front,
Right.
and then half on completion of whatever you know we shoot. So
okay. So now, do you do like the last day you show up before you start, you get your check? Or because you know, it's like if I shoot something for somebody, at least I could be like, I'm not giving you your footage.
Right.
But if you act in something, like they have you now.
They have
you
it,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
in the
They
can.
have it.
Yeah.
So like, how does that work? You just gotta trust.
I typically I've typically give them that momentum to pay, you know, within a couple weeks or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, even with that, I've been burned.
It sucks being burned.
It does,
Yeah,
and I've
like,
chased after people for months, and you know, and sometimes I've never gotten paid. So
that's the worst.
It is.
I've heard that a lot lately. And
I know.
I've been like a real advocate of people getting paid up front. And I don't know if that's something that I'll ever be able to change, but I think like if creators and there are some trash creators out there that will like get paid up front and not do the job, and they should be, you know, punished for that.
Right.
But, you know, I feel like a lot of times I feel like, yo, you can't go to McDonald's and be like, I'm gonna pay you in 60 days.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, why should I give you this and then you tell me you're gonna pay me in 60 days?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I don't know where that comes from, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I mean, I've also worked for folks who, you know, they told me that they were going to pay me, and then they told me like, look, I don't have it, but I will have it by this time. Can you please, you know what I mean? And they did. I will never. The times that I've been deterred and I mean, you know, burned and stuff, it will never deter me from working in the indie world because I really try to look at everybody from an individual
Everybody's
basis.
different. Everybody's
Yeah,
not like
exactly. I will always do that, you know. So, you know, you just kind of adapt and change the way that you, because at first I wasn't asking for anything up front, you know what I mean? So you change with the times. But I'll never stop doing that. I think it's important to get back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
It is. It is very important.
Yeah.
Well, I know I won't hold you up too much longer because I know you're going to go meet people and have a dinner date.
Well, I mean, champ, you were late today, breaking all the
was late.
microphones and stuff like that.
Okay, here we
and
go.
And having assistants and
Here
stuff
we go.
run all over everywhere.
I wasn't
You
going
know
to
what I'm
say
saying?
anything. I wasn't going to say anything. But you were late first.
I was late too.
Right. You were late first, but we got it done.
Late.
So, okay, before you go, tell the people what you have coming up or what's going on with you and give them your social media and all that kind of stuff to follow.
Okay. Social media on Twitter and Instagram is Tammy Townsend 10. Also, so when we the two things that have come, we mentioned them earlier. So you want me to do it again? Okay, fine. This is the stuff that I can't. I'm such not like the regular actor to be like, well, I'm doing. I just anyway.
This is the press stop number 1.
Right, exactly. A show called The Wilds that it's probably premiering next year on Amazon. And also a show called Stuck With You. UMC, and that's gonna air in February.
Okay.
So yeah, Urban Movie Channel. Patricia Cuffy Jones is the writer and director. I love her to pieces.
Okay.
So somebody to watch.
Nice. And you got a bunch of stuff on Netflix. You got more stuff.
I don't even know. People like call me, be like, "Hey, girl, you on?" I'm like, "Oh, really?
Yeah,
am I getting a check for that?" That's all. Like, am I getting a check for that?
Like,
Oh, I was.
Look at the
Literally.
residuals. Look at that. It's back
Exactly.
end. I'm supposed to get back end.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Well,
Anyway.
thank you very much. And I think you gave me a lot of insight. Hopefully the people enjoyed it as well. And keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it. You know, I
Thanks,
enjoy you
champ.
all the time. We always have fun, and we talk a lot of trash. So
We do.
we do.
That's right. They ain't
don't
gonna
let
change.
don't let it fool her. Like, don't let the light skin and the curls fool you. Like, she get over here and she get to talking crazy, and I gotta like, yeah, she's got that Cali little snapback, like clap back action
Exactly,
going on.
I do.
So I gotta get on her. Well, thank you very much. And this is what, episode 5 now? EJ, is this my 5th one?
Look at you.
Look at me. EJ don't know.
EJ crawls on the floor.
EJ
That's
crawls
what
on the
she
floor.
does.
She's like, bruh, I'm crawling and checking
Exactly.
these cameras. I'm not keeping up with what episode this is. But I'm rolling. They're getting better and better, hopefully, every time. So thank y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. And for y'all that are watching this, I'm sorry my hair looks like this. Like, my stuff is messed up right now. I had to do the big chop. Have you ever did a big chop?
I have done a big job.
You have done a big
I
chop?
did,
Like,
and it was so freeing.
was it bad?
No.
You just were free.
I was free.
I feel
It's a
like
lot of work,
woofed
though.
out, though.
You
Like,
woofed.
Like, I'm not getting it lined up or nothing. I'm just letting it grow
You're
back.
in between stages.
I'm in that, like, ugly stage.
Yeah, so, I mean, I wouldn't say that.
It's the
But
ugly
it's the ugly stage.
Ah.
I didn't notice. I just noticed you had a super tight shirt on today.
Oh, my God.
I was like, is he trying to show his muscles? or
Look,
something?
she caught me in a moment of let me throw something on and go.
I thought he had his son's shirt on. That's how small it was.
I did,
I was
but you don't have to
like,
tell people that I did.
Wow.
Can we
champ.
please end this, EJ? Why have you not cut the cameras? Cut the cameras.